Staying dry apart from a few patches of drizzle, mist or light rain in places. Cloudy and misty tonight, some fog along hills and coasts. Lows of 8 to 11 degrees. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
The Football Show on Off the Ball.
Brought to you by Boyle Sports. Now with same-day withdrawals to your Visa debit card.
I'm prepared to do anything I can to play for my country again.
Do it then. What about your start to the game?
It wasn't bad, was it?
Why should an honest answer be a mistake?
How can a modern day manager not have a mobile phone?
Why should he?
We're on here. Now then, Champions League evening ahead. Pat Nevin with us very shortly. 2-1 Schalke against Manchester City. Atletico 0, Juventus 0. Kenny Cunningham in studio. Hello.
All right, Joe.
So, Kenny revealed about 15 minutes ago, he was born with a caul.
Allegedly. I haven't got any recollection of it, but tell me man informs me.
So you said it was rare. Birth with a caul, it's C-A-U-L, as opposed to enda C-O-L-L.
Well, yeah,
but caul is caul.
Yeah.
So in this off the caul feature, it is rare, occurring in fewer than 1 in 80,000 births. The caul is harmless and immediately removed by the physician or midwife upon delivery of the child. So effectively, it's just a layer of skin over your face.
Yeah.
The caul is harmless, it says, immediately removed by the physician or midwife. It can be moved by easily slipping it away from the child's skin. The removal of the thicker membrane is more complex.
Forget about that in terms of the medical procedure. I'm talking about in terms of, does it symbolise, is there a kind of bit of...
Give me a minute.
All wives? Yeah, right.
Okay.
An hour by the sounds of it.
We're in no rush here. In medieval times, the appearance of a caul on a newborn baby
Devil.
was seen as a sign of good luck. It was considered an omen that the child was destined for greatness.
I don't want to say I told you so, but I did allude to it.
That
You
baby's
don't want to
gonna,
blow your own trumpet, like, but I did allude to it.
that baby's going to captain his country one day, they said. You said that all the doctors and nurses blessed themselves.
Well, yeah, it's kind of quite a bit of religious experience. Like, it's a bit of a blessed thing to be in the presence of a
caul baby. It says here,
Is there
gathering...
a black market for these things?
Well, bear with me.
Oh, right.
Bear with me. Gathering the caul onto paper was considered an important tradition of childbirth. So the midwife or physician would rub a sheet of paper across the baby's head and face, pressing the material of caul onto the paper. The caul would
Like
then...
a shrouded Turin, that type of thing.
The caul would then be presented to the mother in this sheet of paper to be kept as an heirloom.
Bloody man, she was pumped with drugs, I'd say. She hadn't a clue what. Somebody stole that. That's a theft.
So you don't know where your caul is? No. Never took it home?
No,
Meant to
my
be an
man never
heirloom.
took it. He never took it.
1 in 80,000 babies, and you should...
Crime scene. I wasn't born 5 minutes.
Flush it down the toilet, did you?
Someone's taken that. It's kind of the black mark, isn't it?
Oh, dear, how?
Made someone a fortune.
That is unbelievable. So some early modern European traditions linked caul birth to the ability to defend fertility.
I thought you were going to say defend 1v1 around the penalty box.
Oh, dear. And harvest against the forces of evil, especially witches and sorcerers.
Oof. Sounds like I'm a Marvel superhero or something.
Come here, you talk about black market. So Charles Dickens' David Copperfield, published in 1850. Did you ever try and read that? I read that once. Honestly, I just thought it was boring after a while. Anyway, David Copperfield. I was born with a caul, which was advertised for sale in the newspapers at the low price of 15 guineas. That's a direct quote there. Are you telling me Kenny Cunningham's
Big money's been
caul
made, big money.
was sold in the Evening Herald?
Stolen.
For
stolen at
25
birth.
punts.
Literally stolen at birth.
It's unbelievable.
My dad wasn't, he's probably over in the pub, like, he probably wasn't there, so...
The amount of references in literature to babies born with cauls off the charts here. In Stephen King's The Shining.
Oh, wow.
The 5-year-old son of the main character, Danny Doc Torrance, is born with a caul that made him appear as if he had no face at the time of his birth. A scary enough prospect.
No face.
But come here. Here's the last little bit of something
Here's
for
the
you.
kicker.
Notable people born with a caul.
Bring it on.
You don't feature here, okay? So they'll need to amend Wikipedia. Two names jumped out at me, right? Two names jumped out at me.
Yeah, go on.
Number one, Sigmund Freud.
Oh,
Number two, and this is from Wikipedia, this comes with a health warning, okay?
mass murderer.
Number two, Johnny Giles.
Is that right, Jay?
That's right here.
Wow. Both Northsiders.
We need to check if this is true.
In the rotunda, both born in the rotunda, I'd say. I'm sure, because John's on the keys there, isn't he?
Yeah, Ormond Key.
Ormond Key. I'm just off Dorchester, stone's throw from the
This is freaking
rotunda.
me out, Kenny. This is freaking me out.
Wow.
This is freaking me out now.
I wonder was his stolen as well from the rotunda.
I'm actually freaked out.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, captained your countries.
Small world,
Bloody
innit?
hell.
Small world, innit?
John Jones is in tomorrow. What do you think the first question we're going to ask him is? All right, listen. That was the most unforeseeable but amazing of tangents.
Yeah, all
There we
down
go.
to Enda.
All down to Enda
Caul.
Caul. Spelled C-O-L-L. Okay. So, let's talk about these two games because we've been watching them. So, in Madrid, it's 0-0 between Atletico and Juventus. 60% possession Juventus, 40% Atletico. I mean, it's been high intensity. Like, it hasn't been a slow game, but there's been no crazy chances either.
No, a bit feisty. A little bit similar maybe to Liverpool and Bayern last night. Joe, in terms of like two kind of heavyweights, kind of reasonably evenly matched. A bit of a feisty element to a bit of nervous tension around the game.
Bit of treatment for Ronaldo.
Yeah. Got tag teamed a few times. They always have done that. They have that physical edge to them. In fact, when you look at the two teams, the Juventus team, a little bit more technical in those central areas of the pitch, where Atletico, unsurprisingly, four orthodox central midfielders across the pitch, Costa up front doing his thing.
He's maybe had the best chance, has he really, one-on-one here? We're seeing a replay of it.
It's a bad miss, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's done really well. He's just kind of strong-armed Bonucci a little bit, centre of the goal, keeper to be. He's doing the right thing, just opening his right foot up, and that should be a reasonably easy finish inside your right foot. But it's just kind of, it's an odd one. It's just scuffed it. Yeah, it's a bad miss.
And actually, so he's opened up the foot as if to kind of not put any curl on it, but he needs to put a bit of curl on it because
he needs to wrap his foot around it. It's like he's opened his foot, but hasn't kind of.
If he was more left to goal, he could have done that.
Yeah, exactly.
But he actually,
strange.
It was a weird finish.
Oh, it was an awful finish.
Awful, yeah, very surprising. Juventus haven't created too much, so it's even, it's tetchy, it's decent. It's
cagey enough.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, it is quite engrossed. Similar to the Liverpool game last night. It wasn't a top quality Liverpool boy. I mean, a little bit sloppy in his misplaced passes, but still quite engrossed.
There's a pace to it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in Germany, so Schalke 1, Man City, Schalke 2, Man City 1. City took the lead. Aguero, for people just tuning in, it was an awful mistake in the Schalke defence that gifted a goal to City, really.
Yeah, it was. Goalkeeper playing out to the centre half on the edge of the box. City are ready to pound. Silva just takes the ball off and squares it to Aguero. Keeper's in no man's land, kicks it into the empty net. Horrible stuff.
And then VAR.
Oh, do we really have to go there? I've no enthusiasm whatsoever.
Well, it seems after tonight nobody has any enthusiasm for VAR. Full stop. It's.
I'm going to rename it. I'm going to rename it CPR. Because that's what the game needs after the VAR eventually is.
That's great, Kenny.
Comes to a conclusion. The whole game needs to be revived. It's killing it. This kind of big spin in terms of, be great, the VAR, we'll go to the big screen. Everybody be buzzing. The energy inside the stadium, everybody be biting their nails. It'll really add to the occasion.
Yeah, we had a 2 minute wait there. 2 to 3 minute wait there for one decision.
Yeah, everybody bored to tears. The whole atmosphere is stale. People just saying, just get on with the game. I don't even care if we get the penalty or the goal now. This is killing me. This is it.
Yeah.
This is the reality of the situation what people have to understand.
Because, I mean, say, unlike rugby is the best comparison, at least as a viewing audience, and I appreciate people in the stadium, it's not great for them. There's the ref link in rugby, but for the majority inside the stadium, you're not hearing the conversation between the referee and the TMO in rugby. But at least the TV audience, which is the vast, vast majority of people watching the game, can at least hear what the ref and the TMO are saying about a decision. Whereas what we're just getting here is the referee trying to wave players away who keep coming over to him, and he's got his hand on his ear, and he's trying to talk to the bloke upstairs. There's no camera on the side of the pitch. Is that gone anymore, or is it just not working tonight?
I don't know. It was my understanding when this was introduced, the referee would always go to the screen and only he could override decisions, so technically he was still refereeing the game. They would never undermine the referee. But I've seen occasions over the past couple of months decisions being made by the VAR officials, so in effect he is refereeing the game, or they were led to believe just the camera wasn't available on the side of the pitch. But even if you go back, Joe, to the actual penalty kick, what they were actually looking at, the Otamendi handball, for me, it's a decision. You pin down 10 referees, have a look at that, take your time, have a look at it 10 times, watch your decision. 5 out of those 10 would give it and 5 wouldn't. On this particular instance.
Yeah. Well, it took a long time. The commentary team on BT tonight were definitely suggesting that there should have been a camera pitch side which the referee could use, and it's not working tonight, and therefore he's having to have long, protracted conversations with whoever's up in the TMO box somewhere. I don't even know if it's on site. It probably isn't. Doesn't tend to be in English football. But so whoever that fella is somewhere miles away watching on TV is basically telling the referee what decision to give, it seems.
Well, he was tonight.
Yeah,
because he was actually refereeing the game.
Yeah.
And you could make an argument in terms of whether in the end they've actually come to the right decision. Because some people will argue vehemently that was not a penalty for we know the reasons why penalties are given in terms of handball, in terms of, as I understand, the distance travelled, the speed of the ball, and the position of the hand in an unnatural position. Now, Otamendi's hand was in a natural position, but the key was the distance the ball travelled and the speed of the ball. Had he got time to actually get his hand out of the way, because the ball was actually heading towards the goal.
Yeah.
And the VAR officials clearly deemed he had enough time and it wasn't travelling sufficiently quickly enough where he could have gotten his hand out of the way. But others would say it differently.
It took 2-3 minutes. I mean, it was really slow. The other VAR decision was Fernandinho, and it was a penalty where there was a free kick into
Well, he
the
gave
box.
it, to be honest with you. He actually gave the penalty.
And he got confirmation then in his
exactly,
ear. Cross into the box, free kick. Fernandinho was dragging his man. Referee gave the penalty, and then you could tell he was getting confirmation in his ear. Barney Ronay, who was chatting here, says VAR is bullshit. Massive delay, people yelling. We're staring at screens. We're yelling at the referee to force a review as well. Horrible stuff. And he says, when you slow it down, everything becomes a penalty or shifty or evil looking. If you slow down the man landing on the moon, VAR would overrule it and book Armstrong. So it's been a bad night for it, you know?
Yeah, I take his point. And to be honest, I'm one of them. I'm not even screaming to tell you now. I can't be bothered. I just can't engage with it at all. It's absolutely total turner for me. I'm really not interested in the whole process and this kind of thing. Over time, we're going to get there. Just kind of growing pains a little bit. Let's stick with it. I'm not buying into it.
See, I think it's the right thing to do, and I think it is just growing pains, and I think they will sort it out.
No, I don't think they'll ever sort it out. But just by the nature of the game in terms of decisions, and they're always opinion based. Some very obvious ones in terms of offside, 5-10 yards, offside. But I can see this expanding out. Nobody's going to be happy with the kind of rigid criteria they're looking at the moment. That's going to be expanded out into all sorts of decisions all over the pitch, and I can see it getting totally away. I've been here before. I'm even bored talking about it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I've always been against it. I still am, and I still hold on to that very faint hope that we can kind of retrace our steps and go back to where it was.
I won't waste anyone's time getting into a VAR debate now. On City's performance generally this evening then, so they're
started well though, Joe.
A bit of trouble here now.
Yeah, they started well, but it was that penalty. They were reasonably comfortable, playing reasonably well. Tempo was good, in terms of attitude, fine, but it's obviously disrupted them, knocked them off. Lost a little bit of momentum and fun. I don't think it's disaster. As long as they keep their calm, they should be. They're experienced enough players. Keep calm, play your football. Another 90 minutes after the second half shouldn't be a problem to them. I haven't been overly impressed with Schalke. Yes, they've got themselves into the lead, but as long as they keep their composure, Manchester City, still shouldn't be a problem over the two legs.
No, it shouldn't. It's a strange kind of game, but Schalke 2-1 up anyway. 62 minutes in the clock. Still 0-0 in Madrid. We're taking a short break. Pat Nevin with us next.
Football on Off the Ball.
Brought to you by Boyle Sports. Now with same-day withdrawals to your Visa debit card. Welcome to the Constituency Complaints Line. Your estimated wait time is 14 days and 2 hours.
Feel like you're not being listened to? News Talk wants to give you exclusive access to a local TD by getting them out of Leinster House and into yours. So if you want a local TD to walk in your shoes for a day and experience the issues that affect your daily life, we want to hear from you. Go to newstalk.com/TD and register now. Take home a TD, exclusively on Newstalk.
Your call is important to us. Please continue to hold.
I've been an electrical apprentice with ESB Networks for 2 years and it's been great. It's a world-class qualification and it's really rewarding. I get to help people. I'm learning so much on the job and I'm working on great teams with experienced network technicians. I love the mix of the indoor and outdoor and the support I get every day. It's definitely been a great career move for me. My name is Megan and I'm an ESB Networks electrical apprentice. Learn how you can become one too at esbnetworks.ie.
Welcome to university as it should be.
Championing learning as it should be.
Giving free rein to the human desire to seek, to discover, to understand.
At Maynooth University, we are younger.
We are freer.
We are faster. From Maynooth University, you can go anywhere and become anything.
Maynooth University. No bounds. Join us for our postgraduate open evening, Tuesday the 26th of February from 4 to 8 p.m. Register at maynoothuniversity.ie.
Class, listen up. Mental maths. If the school won €50,000, how could we spend it? Sean?
A new playground, rugby balls, or a rugby pitch on the moon.
Why there?
Plenty of space.
Spend €30 in Aldi and collect Irish rugby stickers for your primary school's chance to win €50,000 for playing facilities. Aldi, official supermarket of the IRFU. Full details at aldi.ie/play rugby. Promotion open from the 28th of January to the 7th of April 2019.
Looking for a new car? Well, Nissan's incredible 2-for-1 offer is back. Only with Nissan, you get 2 new cars for the price of 1. Yes, you heard me right. That's 2 new cars for the price of 1. Buy a selected 191 Nissan and we'll replace it the following year for free. But hurry, this is a limited offer. Contact your local Nissan dealer today. Visit nissan.ie for details. Terms and conditions apply. Nissan. Innovation that excites.
250,000 Irish people live with blindness or visual impairment. I'm Victoria Smurford and my daughter Evie is one of them.
I have a progressive eye condition with no cure.
Fighting Blindness is the only Irish charity funding research into treatments for sight loss.
Their work gives kids like me hope for the future.
Blindness can be cured through research. Please help us find a cure sooner. Donate now at fightingblindness.ie.
Thank you.
Trade up and save with Samsung at Power City. For a limited time, claim up to €340 cashback on selected Samsung home appliances. To find out more, go online to powercity.ie or call in store today.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
Welcome back. Still no changes. Atletico 0, Juventus 0. Schalke 2, Manchester City 1. 65 minutes on the clock. This Thursday, as you know, we're continuing our build-up to Cheltenham. The Gold Cup with the latest Bulmers Road to Gold event will be at 22 nightclub in Dublin. We'll have Jarlath Regan, Brian Cooper, Kate Harrington, Vogue Williams, Ollie Bell and live music from Smash Hits, an exclusive off-air event. The only way to enjoy it is to be there on the night. An over-18s event as well. And we're giving you the chance to win a pair of tickets. All you have to do is tell us Kate Harrington is the daughter of which legendary trainer. Text your name and answer to 53106. We'll announce the winner before the end of tonight's show. And if you do fancy coming along anyway and you don't win tickets, then you can check out offtheball.com/events to get your tickets. So Pat Nevin was with us earlier on this afternoon. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 2. There were chants of F Sarri ball around Stamford Bridge. A lot of the Chelsea fans joined in with the United fans singing "You'll be sacked in the morning." There were reports in the papers today, Chelsea officials, quote, taken aback by the level of hostility which has suddenly engulfed Stamford Bridge. And so I put it to Pat Nevin that this situation is suddenly catching fire now.
Yeah, I have to say, at the game, I was pretty taken back as well. Chelsea fans generally don't do that. You remember what they were like with Conte in the final days? They didn't turn on the manager. They didn't even turn on Mourinho while at the ground. Yes, there was complaints on social media, online, etc. When do you not get that? But at the grounds, it wasn't happening. And even at the Etihad in the 6-0 game, there was none of that at all. However, by half-time in the game against Manchester United, the frustration had boiled over and they were booed off the park. And that really is quite unusual for the Chelsea fans. So when the Chelsea hierarchy say they were taken aback by it, They're not making that up. That's that's incredibly unusual. I think you have to go back to maybe ABB, the last time that was, heard down at Stamford Bridge. So they're not really like that. So that's a massive effect very, very quickly. I think it's been building up for a while. And I think it's just the frustration that a number of things, that everyone has been talking about. Jorginho in that position being the controlling influence or not. Obviously the Kante situation, which most people seem to want him to play in that position instead. But maybe more than everything else, the lack of adaptability. The fans consistently say to me the same thing. It just changes like for like. You know that if Kovacic goes off, it's Bartlett's going to come on.
Yeah.
You know if Pedro goes off, it's Willian that's coming on. And the only time he surprised anybody was when they brought Zappacosta on the other night for Azpilicueta as the final substitution when 2-0 down. That was a surprise. Didn't get down very well right enough.
Yeah. Wasn't the best PR move. I mean, everybody knows in that situation, you throw on the striker just to make it look like you're having a go.
Not if you're Sarri. That's just not his way. And we've all got used to it now that he will not change. He's incredibly stubborn. Now, stubborn isn't always a bad thing. You look at Pep Guardiola, he was really stubborn through that first season. But he's losing a lot of the capital that he'd built up in that first half of the season. And it's losing quite quickly. They're not scoring a lot of goals just now. Away from home, it's been pretty awful, particularly against the top sides. And even though, if you look at it, and it's as positive a light as you can, and I'm doing this purely, for devilment, they're 1 point between them and Manchester United and Arsenal for the top four, so it's still tight. Okay, their form's not good, but it's still tight. They're in a cup final next week, or on Sunday. They've actually, if they beat Spurs in the game after that, suddenly it looks actually not that bad in the league. But the likelihood of them getting through the Europa tomorrow night, which I think they probably will, and winning that cup final, and beating Spurs, I think there's not many people betting on that, to be fair.
No, it feels remote. Not to overly dwell on the F Sarri ball chant, but it is kind of interesting to tease something like that out, because you could dismiss it very, as a kind of an anti-intellectual, frustration, protest kind of a thing. Like, I think there is just a sense that people feel they're being sold the emperor's new clothes here, that they've had misgivings. These are fans who I suspect go to lots of football matches, who have seen Kante, for instance, perform brilliantly, who have seen good football, who know their football. And they've had misgivings about what Sarri's doing, but they've had the whole Sarri ball thing rammed down their throat, And I just think they've almost reached the end of their tether with it. And it was almost like a collective moment of going, do you know what, actually? We've been told all this nonsense about Sarri. Well, F that. I can see what I'm seeing with my own eyes here. It doesn't work. He's just doing the wrong thing.
Yes, that sounds like the feeling that there is just now. Now, let's be fair to Sarri. He's not the one that was telling you it was all working well.
Yeah.
So it's not Sarri saying that. There was that long period at the start of the season where they were winning all those games. They went on a fantastic run. And he continually said the same thing. It's not right yet. There's nowhere near this being ready. This is not what I want to do. There's not the players I need. It needs a lot more work. Now, to be fair, he was absolutely right about that. And it would take a long time, and it does take a long time to do something that extreme. The difference is, in the analogy which I've used and many people have used, you had to give Pep Guardiola the time. And a lot of people weren't giving him the time at the start, but they gave him the time. And some of us, because we could see it. We could really see where it was going.
Yeah.
And at the moment, it's really difficult to see, with the group of players that he's got. It's not that they're bad players, but a lot of them are just not suited to that specific style. And also because of the similarities it's got as a possession-based game with Liverpool and with, the likes of, Man City, obviously, it's just a long way behind. And it seems like a long way behind that needs a lot of work and a lot of time. I'm just not convinced that the Chelsea fans want to, put up with that amount of time. They're also used to a bit more excitement. Push it on the last 15, 20 minutes. Many teams, if you're 1-0 or 2-0 down, but you have a right go at the end, score a goal and all pretty exciting and lumped in the box, kind of eases it a little bit because you can feel it and see it and you can take part in it and you vent some of your frustrations, supporting the team as well. But that kind of doesn't happen with this inverted commas Sarri ball. They just keep on playing this kind of intellectual type game. And if it doesn't work, then we're half an hour to go in a game against Manchester United. I was doing the co-commentary on it, and I didn't think it was going to work. Maybe 10, 15 minutes in the second half, you're looking at it thinking, they're creating the odd chance, they've got lots of possession. Chelsea had 66% of the possession in that game.
Right.
That's having no effect on you either, is it? Or me, or indeed the Chelsea fans. They have had enough of it, and they want a little bit more of a go. And you can absolutely understand. There's another thing, the Hudson-Odoi thing, which for me is not, I'm not really buying that one at all, but it's another one that's kind of lighting the candle for them, because the Chelsea fans are saying, bring him on, he'll do the difference. I mean, kid's 18, good player.
Yeah.
He's almost certainly leaving Chelsea anyway. You're going to annoy Pedro and Willian and all the players that want to stay there to put him on before you. I'm not sure that's absolutely right. And he's not really done it against the top teams. I think he will, and he's got a great chance of it. I think that's a wee bit of a red herring, that one. The other stuff, no, absolutely. It's getting to a crescendo, and it's getting to a critical mass now.
Yeah, it feels that way. And look, of course, there is something admirable about somebody who has their principles and a philosophy that they believe in and want to stick to it. But stubbornness really is the word. Kind of a cheap question, but given the talent in the squad, is there a quick and easy formation that would improve things dramatically?
I think if it was me, I would be seriously tempted to play 4-2-3-1. Chelsea have played that before, and it's incredibly successful. Surprise, surprise. That gives you Kanté back in there in the defensive midfield position, standing beside Jorginho, and you've got three attacking players in front of that who can do what they like, and one up front. It's worked for Chelsea incredibly well before, and I think every chance it would work again. It would allow your wide attacking players, your full-backs as it were, to get forward as well because of the cover. And there are a number of things you do. Oddly enough, when you looked at, or when I look at Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you look at the amount of adaptations he makes in that team.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of different systems he's played. Now, you look all the way through it, and including Pep Guardiola, he will adapt the system for certain situations, be it other teams, be it what he's got available. So it's hard to look through that many football teams that have been incredibly successful that never, ever, ever change a thing tactically.
Yes.
Unless you are constantly being successful. And that's the thing that's getting to them.
Yeah, I would think so. So can you explain something to me then? Really, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 and 4-5-1, in my book, are all basically the same thing depending on where the ball is and what kind of calibre of opposition you're up against, Why can't Sarri live with the 4-2-3-1?
Because it's based on purely possession. It's not based on a defensive ethic at all. So if you got 4-2, that's basically two defensive. There are two that'll cover. And the three and the one are beyond that. Can kind of basically go and attack.
Yeah.
Those six at the back, you can sit there. You can play there. You will budge, but not that much. Whereas with that system, where 3 and a 1, all three of them can go and attack. So say you had, if you were Chelsea, you had almost certainly Hazard as the middle of that 3 attacking. You suddenly got Hazard attacking from middle wherever he likes. But you've also got a Pedro and a Willian alongside trying to create chances for the likes of Higuain. Now, suddenly that actually just looks and sounds more attack-minded. You've got one more attack-minded player on the field, but you're also more defensively set up because you've got two people sitting in front of your centre-backs.
Yeah.
And that, to a lot of Chelsea fans, it makes so much sense because it also solves the problem of N'Golo Kante not playing in what is his favourite position. So, they're looking at that, as you rightly say, football fans are not stupid. They're looking at it and thinking, we played that way before.
Yeah.
It was incredibly successful. Mourinho had the success under it. Why don't we at least try it at some point in the game? I mean, a lot of people are shouting for get Giroud on alongside Higuain and lump it into the box. And that's another possibility. It'll be a cold day in Minsk before Sarri tries that one. Certainly not a hope and that one going to happen. But that's the kind of the feeling there is at the moment. And it's coming to that period now where, I've been at all the games recently for complicated reasons. I happen to be at all the games. And it's getting to that time you often find you're now ticking off competitions. That's one gone.
Yeah.
FA Cup's gone. Europa League will still be in that. I'm absolutely convinced of that after tomorrow night. But obviously, against City, the likelihood is that one goes as well. I mean, it's not beyond the bounds of possibility. Remember, Chelsea have actually beaten City 2-0 this season anyway. But that was a different type of City team on a different form as well. But after that, they play Spurs. And if we lose against Spurs, almost certainly Manchester United or Arsenal will get away. You're ticking off the competitions now really, really quickly.
Yeah, it's an expensive time. Appreciating everything you said about the formations. In a 4-2-3-1, say it's Kante and Jorginho, surely that doesn't prohibit Jorginho from getting on the ball lots and being a part of possession lots and still playing a possession game. Like 4-2-3-1 is not a non-possession type game, surely. I mean, this is what I'm kind of failing to see.
Me too.
Okay, good, okay.
So I'm playing devil's advocate. Remember, sometimes when I talk to yourselves or sometimes in radio, I think it's clear what I'm saying to people who are listening. Look, we all know the argument. I'll give you a devil's advocate. I don't necessarily agree with it. I wouldn't necessarily do that. We've all got different opinions on how we would do it. Now, my specific one would be I would move it to that because it seems suited to the group that you've got there. You will get the best out of. You will actually get those three players. You know, William or Hudson-Odoi, Pedro, and you will get Hazard all on the pitch at the same time, feeding a guy, Higuain, who scores when you give him chances. And to me, I think that sounds all right. It sounds quite good. It's kind of simplistic because it won't then be a kind of his version of Sarri ball because it's all about angles, positions, and something more complex than that. But if it ain't working, it ain't working.
Well, we know what the Chelsea fans have to say about Sarri ball, Pat, so that should...
Well, you never know, to be honest. Chelsea fans, if they did win the game against Spurs, as I say, if they got maybe just, you got beat 2-1 against Manchester City and, at Wembley, then that can happen to anybody. They're a damn good side. But if they beat Spurs and they're back up and they're in the hunt and they're the top four, and by the way, many will know, but some won't know, the antipathy between Spurs and Chelsea is absolutely extraordinary. That would give them a massive lift. And the important thing is, and I keep on going on about this Spurs game, it seems as if it's unimportant. It's not. It's utterly vital. And for the simple reason, the next 5 games that Chelsea have got after that, Fulham, Wolves, Everton, Cardiff, West Ham, all winnable in the league and a chance to go in the run, which leaves you with 2 questions to ask. If you're going to change the manager, you wait till after Spurs. Because the next guy gets that run. If he wins that game, he's got a 5-game run where he actually has got a right good chance again. So that I think it all depends, not in the Europa League, not in the Man City game, unless Chelsea get battered out of sight with him embarrassingly again. It's actually down to Spurs.
Yeah, it's a great point. It's very delicately poised, isn't it? Very last question.
By the reason why that's the case, I think that's exactly what Manchester United done with Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, no, totally. It's the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer run, that you gift the new manager. Very last question. Did you rate Sarri very highly before he arrived at Chelsea? And has the lack of adaptability tainted him in your eyes?
Rate highly. I often like managers that play football, that entertain me, that I like artistically, that create lots of goals, and they might not win things. I quite like them guys. The last season's game between Man City and Napoli, it was hilarious. Nobody's defending. To use a phrase, the cry was no defenders, and there was none, and it was mad. And there's a bit in me that loves that, and I kind of just go out and entertain me. I love that sort of stuff. I'm not running a football club. I'm not having to win. I'm wanting to be entertained. So I know that I'm different in that I put entertainment sometimes actually above winning things. I'll do that. But I know that I'm unusual. B, I'm not running the business just now. And C, football fans want to win above everything else, or at least a lot of them do. I did like Sarri.
You mentioned the I guess adaptability is the word if we're using that one. The adaptability of Solskjaer thus far at Manchester United. So it was Matic and Herrera and Pogba and Mata in a diamond on Monday night, which seemed to do the trick in many respects. Were you impressed with Manchester United?
Yeah, I was dead interested in that. You talk about the diamond there. They sometimes play 4-2-2-2, which is quite an unusual one, used by Brazilians many times in the past. But what he tends to do away from home is leave 2 up front. And the normal thinking is, you're away from home, tough game, 1 up front, playing the break. He doesn't. And it's a really clever tactic, not that often used. And it's working. Whether that's going to keep on working in the long term, because people will suss that out, he's doing that all the time. But that adaptability and getting the best out of those players, I think is absolutely fantastic, and it's been brilliant so far. it's really hard to see any massive faults. And even against PSG, it was just a better bunch of players it was playing against. Nothing more than that. You sometimes that it won't happen for you against players that are playing really well. So that ability to do that, change it, knowing what is needed, getting the best out of Pogba, that's obviously phenomenal as well, because that wasn't happening before. But it was a wee technical thing more than that really impressed me against Chelsea. Everybody knows if you stop Hazard, you generally have got a right good chance of stopping Chelsea. Chelsea played against him. Hazard got the ball. He always had minimum 2 players marking him. Minimum.
Right.
Sometimes it was 3. Now and again, it was 4.
Right.
And they had all been schooled so well to crush every bit of space. And that's not a fluke. That was Solskjaer.
Yeah.
Well done, him.
Okay. Interesting. On Pogba, by the way, seeing as you were there at the stadium doing co-commentary, when you watch on TV, say for his header goal, for the second goal, and he's put the ball out wide and he's starting this long stride towards the penalty area, and a cross is going to come in. It is amazing how every other player in your eye line just disappears, and you were just watching Pogba inching towards, not inching actually, it's the opposite of inching, making, rampaging his way into the area where the ball's about to arrive. And it's like, I'm watching him because nobody can stop him. I mean, this is just unstoppable force here, and there's no immovable object coming the other way. I'd say when you're in the stadium and he's making one of those runs, it is just one of the most impressive athletic things you'll see, allied to all the technical brilliance we know he has.
Yeah, there's very few players that are capable of doing that. It's a gasp moment. I call it a gasp moment. You go, whoa! And there's a few doing it. And they're all French. Because Mbappe does that.
Yeah.
Mbappe does it all the time. There's a moment where you're high up in the stadium and he does something with his pace, and the whole place who's watching him just goes, oh my God. And he doesn't even need to be on the ball. He's doing this thing where you just think, well, that's unstoppable. With the physicality that he's got as well, Pogba getting into that position, timed it so well. There's been a lot said about him. He got man of the match. Yes, he made one and he scored one. And people saying, oh, he dominated the game. No, he didn't. He did not. He did well. He was against Kante and it was tough for him. But in the big moments, he did exactly the right thing. And his intelligent play defensively was magnificent as well.
Right.
Dominating the game, he absolutely didn't. He didn't need to on that occasion. He just needed to do it at the right times, and his timing was phenomenal with it. So, yeah, I thought he was really, really good. I thought at moments he was absolutely brilliant. But as you say, I think it's bordering unstoppable when he does that. And any defender, it's really hard because remember, they're running backwards. So they're running backwards, having to get in a possession.
Yeah.
It's the worst situation. The cross was fantastic as well at the right time. It was a great goal, it was a great play, and it was a brilliant tactic.
So I don't know if you caught any of the game at Anfield last night, but we are... did you? Great, okay. Well, you can give us your thoughts on that and then segue us into Manchester United, Liverpool at the weekend, which is just going to be fantastic. Liverpool haven't won at Old Trafford since 2009. So for all the ills of the last decade, United are generally okay-ish at Old Trafford against Liverpool. But 0-0 against Bayern last night?
Yeah, it was kind of a thing. It was different phases of the game, wasn't it? Different ways that it went. There was periods where, Liverpool were creating chances and looked really, really lively. But the way this thing was taken out of the game brilliantly by Bayern, playing out most of the time. Most of the time they got it right, not all of the time.
Yeah.
But they held possession for long, long periods and a really clever side. I still think Liverpool can do this. I really do. Just because Bayern are going to have to come onto them, and you've always got, the Firmino Salah thing attacking. They're going to have Van Dijk back. That's going to make a big difference. The one thing that really disappointed me on the night, and it was one player, and it was actually Mane. Now, to be fair, he got himself in good positions. He had a few chances, and well done getting into those positions. But there were 2 or 3, and specifically 2 occasions, where he should have been drawing the fullback towards him and laying it off to Robertson, who had one-on-one with the keeper, and he went for the wild shot. And I'm just thinking, Salah doesn't do that. Firmino will not do that. And that was the difference. That moment where that ball needed that right pass at the right time, fell to the wrong guy. Mane's a super player, but he's not like the Silvas, he's not like the Salahs, he's not like them. And I think it was his inability to do that. And the reason why it stuck out, there's loads of players that don't make that mistake and get it wrong and are a bit greedy at the wrong time. Lots and lots of players that do that. There's not many at Liverpool that do that. There's not many at City that do that. And there's very few at Manchester United that are doing that just now. He needs to get that sort of thing right. Because against the likes of Bayern Munich in the Champions League, limited chances. Don't do that. He knew that play, that pass was on. And if he didn't, well, he's not good enough.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what Solskjaer springs against Liverpool on Sunday.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. I was talking to some people. I was in Chelsea today. We were talking about getting teams at the right time. And Chelsea hit Man United at the wrong time. But everyone's hit Man United at the wrong time because it is their time. And for Liverpool, it is a stinker of a time to get Manchester United, who are fighting, battling. This is it for them. I mean, good luck with the FA Cup, but they need to get top four. They can smell the top four. And I think they put everything into this game. They've got a great chance of winning this game. If everyone's fully fit, it's going to be great. And I think another open game. I don't think it will be one of those dull wins that we've had in the past. The 0-0s where they cancel each other out. Mourinho ain't there. It's not going to happen. So I think it's going to be an absolute cracker of a game. It's really, really hard one to call. I really wouldn't want to call it just now.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a good open game.
No, it absolutely will. Listen, great to talk to you as always. Thanks a million.
Looking forward to it. See you soon.
There was Pat Nevin earlier on this afternoon, so it's all changed in the Champions League. When we last left you, Schalke were 2-1 up on Man City. Then Man City were reduced to 10 men. Otamendi, red card, 2 yellows. And then just in the last moment or two, Sané with the free kick to make it 2-2. Meanwhile, Atletico have gone 2-0 up on Juventus. We'll run you through everything in just a moment.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
Tim has now been video calling on his mobile with his potential new business partners in Madrid for 45 minutes and 37 seconds. Luckily, time on his phone isn't a concern for Tim. With 3's €20 SIM-only business plan, he gets all calls, all texts, and all you can eat data, so he can just keep nodding while he Google translates what on earth they're saying. Switch today at your local 3 store or visit 3.ie/business. 3. Make it count. €20 a month for the first 6 months, €30 a month thereafter. 30-day minimum term. Fair usage allowance applies to data used in the EU. See 3.ie.
This is an important announcement. If you are considering buying a new car, then you need to know that Frank Keane Volkswagen are the only Volkswagen dealers in all of South and West Dublin. We have the best new car offers, including low-rate finance, high deposit contributions, scrappage eco-grants, and simply put, unbeatable deals on all new cars. Think the time is wrong? Think again. Frank Keane Volkswagen, the only Volkswagen dealers in all of South and West Dublin.
Hi, I'm Anne Daly, SuperValue store owner. All things considered, SuperValue is the place to fill your trolley with great offers like selected SuperValue Irish meats, any 3 for €10. SuperValue 7 offers like oranges, 4 for 79 cents. And buy any 6 bottles in our Spanish wine sale and save €10. All things considered, it's SuperValue. Enjoy alcohol responsibly.
Find yourself correctly predicting the
future.
Knowing what people are going to do
before they do it.
Finishing other people's
sentences.
No.
You can't predict the future. When overtaking a cyclist, allow plenty of room. For zones of 50k and under, allow at least 1 metre. For zones over 50k, allow at least 1.5 metres. You can't read the mind of a cyclist, and they can't read yours. Don't second guess. You may not get a second chance. From the Road Safety Authority.
Football Index is reinventing football betting. You can buy and sell the world's top players. Their value may go up and down, but it's not over with the final whistle like a regular bet. Football Index, reinventing football betting.
Start building your portfolio today at footballindex.co.uk or download the app now. New customers only, minimum deposit and conditions apply. Gamble responsibly.
If you're thinking of buying a residential rental property, ICS Mortgages can provide an excellent range of flexible buy-to-let mortgages, including interest-only terms of up to 15 years. We'll also help you to refinance your existing portfolio and grow your property investments. Call 1890 427 427, visit icsmortgages.ie or contact your local mortgage broker. ICS Mortgages, the property investor's choice. Lending criteria, terms and conditions apply and are subject to change. The entire amount that you have borrowed will still be outstanding at the end of the interest-only period. Dillosk DAC, trading as Dillosk and ICS Mortgages, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
Now then, it's all changed. Well, not all changed, but it's got even better for Man City. Ronaldo's about to hit a big free kick at Atletico. Oh, pulls the back edge of the area, saved for a corner. It's still 2-0 to Atletico. Meanwhile, Manchester City have gone 3-2 up against Schalke. Raheem Sterling with his 15th goal of the season in the 90th minute. Sané with a free kick on 85 minutes to put them back to 2-2. Before that, Otamendi had been sent off and Bentaleb had scored 2 penalties for Schalke to put them 2-1 up. Aguero had scored the opener for City on 18 minutes. So Sané and Sterling in the last 5 minutes have changed things utterly for Manchester City. And then at Atletico, well, it's been tetchy. Morata had a goal disallowed. VAR, our old friend, popping up again. But then Jose Jimenez and Diego Godin on 78 and 83 minutes have put them 2-0 up. Kenny, talk to me. So Morata had a VAR goal disallowed, a bit of a push on Chiellini. And then we thought, well, this is going to finish 0-0. But Atletico have taken control of the tie now.
Oh, they certainly have. Although we just mentioned the whole complexion would change if Juventus could steal an away goal in the final couple of minutes. Doesn't look likely at the moment. And yeah, 2-0 scoreline will put Atletico in a really strong position going into the second leg. They'd really fancy their chances. It's been a good performance from Atletico. Just really typical Atletico, Joe, in terms of physically imposing themselves. You know, high energy levels. I mean, it's not as if they can't play. They got some good technical players in the team as well, but they're kind of pretty relentless. Just keep at you, keep snapping away, like real.
2 set pieces with the goals.
Yeah, 2 set pieces, which they do a lot of work on traditionally with Simeone, but they're pretty standard in terms of force an outswing corner, ball just drops loose, quick reactions from Jimenez, and actually good finish from. Godin just dropping to him. Didn't look as if he could score from a acute angle, but Ronaldo kind of didn't do great, kind of turned his back to the ball and it gave him an avenue to put the ball into the empty net. So, yeah, in a really strong position now, Atletico clearly.
Meanwhile, in Germany, even at 2-1 down, we kind of thought, well, look, City will be fine, just don't concede a third and go into the second leg 3-1 down. Yeah. And since then, Sané's free kick, people won't have seen it yet.
But I give Guardiola real credit in terms of his substitution. He brought Aguero off and brought Sané on, and it was questioned by a couple of the commentators, was scratching their head, what's he thinking there? But clearly what he was thinking was, in terms of Sané's pace coming onto the pitch, albeit in a wide area, but actually getting Aguero higher up the pitch as a central striker would be a better threat than Aguero going into the last 10-15 minutes. Yeah. That's exactly how it proved. Sterling actually won the free kick for the Sané free kick, winning the ball and driving at players and drawing the foul. Brilliant execution from Sané. Yeah, not really. I don't think that is a traditional whip. Do you know that? It's not. It's a dunk. It's an inside of the foot with a little bit of slice of dunk thrown in there, sprinkling on top.
Juninho whip.
Yeah, a little bit of NBA in there in terms of the ball, in terms of how it dips. But you're right, brilliant execution. And then, of course, Sterling again, most advanced player. Yeah, clever little nudge, just put the defender off balance. You got to be expecting that as a defender. You got to be ready for that contact. Yeah. He wasn't. Keeper did make his angle of approach wasn't great, but yeah, good finish from Sterling. So
they're in good shape. That's
as good as through. Yeah,
that's us pretty much done. OTB AM 7:45 tomorrow as usual. We'll see you tomorrow here at 7:00, and Tom Dunn is on the way next. Good luck.
Give him a ball and he had a grass. He'll give you a move for the perfect pass. Give him a ball and he had a space. He'll give you a move with good